Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. Like the SE is built under what we call the holistic paradigm, which means body and mind come together. They are part of a unit. One influences, they're just dimensions. One influences and builds the other one all the time. You know, and so is built our nervous system as well. We have aspects of the nervous systems which are more reflexive. We are aspects of our nervous system which are more affective, feeling wise. And we also have parts of our nervous systems that are more connected with symbols and with language and with cognition. But those parts, they all kind of influence each other in different degrees with very complex associations. But what's interesting is that when a therapy comes from the language point of view, let's say, which means concepts, thoughts, uh, organizing the mind, this will have an effect in how you like or dislike something, a limbic function, and it will also have an effect in your brain stem. So these functions, they communicate themselves. It's the other way around also. If you have some something that is more into the affected domain, you will add a meaning to that emotional experience. So those three layers, they are didactic, but they function. There's a common functioning. Some therapists use more language and use more symbology to work, and other therapists, they use more the the systems that are in the brainstem, which means they are more reflexive. And the autonomic nervous system lays in the brainstem. So this means that if you access the autonomic nervous system, you're going to produce reactions and repatterning of the function of those two branches, sympathetic, parasympathetic. But this will produce certain emotions. You're going to feel better, you're going to like it or not. And this will have a meaning for you. And this may even change meanings and patterns and emotional patterns that are ingrained in your memory functions. So the top-down function, expects that from the meaning, from the level of cognition, you're going to access the autonomic nervous system in the brain stem. While if you start from the brainstem perspective, through language and through more sensation, actually through sensations, you may, produce a long-lasting effect because this will shift the basis of the survival functions, and those survival functions are so basic, that they are kind of patterning and they are establishing the mode of living of a person. So they will have a higher effect in the other layers of the brain. You cannot say that one is better than the other one because we need all of them in a way, but they're just very different approaches to the whole person. And as I said, in one of them, you come from the mind, hoping that you can access let's say the layer below that talk to the autonomic nervous system and to the emotional system of the body, while you may access the autonomics, and this may eventually touch the meanings, and you can make connections with the emotional level as well. Generally, the people that work from the cognitive therapies, they just did not pay too much attention yet to the effects and to the function of the nervous system. And they haven't, stopped and understood in details the intricate relationships that exist and that are affecting the whole way the person is organized and protected and the defense mechanisms and the worldview of the person. What's very interesting is that once you open up that box and you begin to perceive the reactions of the branches of the autonomics and its effects in the other layers, including thinking and emoting, you just cannot not pay attention to that anymore. most of us, we react instinctively to what's happening in front of us. So we just have that, what I mentioned before, that impact of the other people nervous system in your body, and you self-regulate and you kind of dance with the other person's nervous system, but without any consciousness. You are still just responding, but not perceiving the response that you are giving. But once you open up your mind and you begin to pay attention to what's happening to me, or to what's happening in the physiology of that person when they say this or that, or when they find a new understanding of their own misery or their own life or their own emotions, the nervous system reacts. And that reaction is observable. And that's the interesting point, is that you begin to have something very concrete, which are the actual responses of the nervous systems to the different situations. So when you get activated, of course, the blood gets off the skin, the pupils dilate, the muscles contract. There is, let's say, a promptness for fight or flight. And you notice that people reacting in an activated, sympathetic manner. The same way that when the person relaxes and they get parasympathetic dominance, you can perceive the blood comes to the surface, the pupils get narrower, and there's no need for defending. And you can perceive that. So once you begin to get more familiar with the nervous system, its activity, and its manifestations, you can use that in the therapy that you do. So if you're using cognitive, psychodynamic, interpretative techniques, you can include the perception of the nervous system to see how is it that the system is reacting in the very bottom line. One thing is what you talk, the other thing is how is it that your body is reacting. If you include both layers in your understanding, of the person, you will have way more resources to work with. So in October, you're almost welcome if you want to join us into this adventure. Uh, it's a beautiful training that lasts, 3 years, 2 modules a year, but in which every module, you deepen the material and you get to understand this methodology much better.